Hello, my name is Nahum, and
Ale.
okay, so could we have the slides, please? We're going to talk briefly about a project that is called La gravedad de los asuntos, or in English, Matters of Gravity. And in this project, we provoked, we say now, a dialogue between art science and technology. In this project, we explored gravity, gravity as a force, and this force was the main ingredient conceptually, physically, metaphorically for our project.
Well, why gravity? We started a relation with the Nuclear Science Institute in Mexico, in La UNAM, in the university, and we find out with several dialogues with the scientists that gravity is one of the forces of which we know the less, maybe. Maybe Michael can tell more about that later. But so we decided to approach the subject of gravity in the sense of which are the mysteries of gravity. No? That it's a weak force, that it pulls, but it doesn't have a counteract. Even we explore it through the metaphorical also subject.
So the first thing that we did was to get close to science, and we went through a lot of preparations, through workshops, seminars, even the history of gravity before Newton, but also we searched for gravity in poetry, science fiction, popular sayings, biology, and even in ourselves. And for this, since in Mexico there are not any cosmonautic training facilities, we self-organized a residency in an amusement park. And in these mechanized thrill machines, we play with our bodies, our senses, our expectations, and then we also had some psychological experiments in these roller coasters. And all of this just to gather enough information and resources that will help us to execute our projects later.
Well, but one of the questions was, how can we explore gravity if we cannot let it go from us? So we had to find a way to experience the absence of gravity. And we did it in the facilities of the Yuri Gagarin Training Center for Cosmonauts in Russia, in a plane that is called the Ilyushin 76 MDK. That is a train. It doesn't look like a train. Yeah. A plane that makes a series of parabolas where you have a free fall and you experience zero gravity.
Yeah, so how it works is it looks like a normal plane, but it's specially prepared for going up like super fast, and that's when you get to experience up to 3 gravities.
That is more like feeling 3 times the weight of every cell of your body, every cell of your tongue, your eyelid, your blood, everything.
Exactly. So it goes full speed with 4 like powerful engines, and then they switch it off and it starts nicely falling. So when it's diving, you lose gravity, and then it has to go up again, and you feel again 3 gravities for 30 seconds each stage.
So we prepare ourselves for this experience, but it was like preparing yourself to learn to swim like in the backyard patio. No? It's like there's no way to get prepared for these activities. And even though we prepared our projects through conversations with specialists on gravity theory and some physicists, and we did experiments in the amusement park. Everything was based on our expectations of what was going to be the experience. And as much as we prepared with the knowledge and the theory, it was, and prepared like a logistic for the activities in the plane. When we arrived to Russia, we have each of us an instructor, a Russian instructor during the plane, and they changed all our logistics and they changed all our process, and it was kind of starting again at some point.
So when we were in the flight, each of us had at least 2 projects that we're going to do, and some of them, of course, failed. Some of them surprised us, but also they were like nice surprises. Not to mention to getting sick in the plane, but only guys, unfortunately. So in this project, I mean, we could say that gravity was our subject. Its absence was the raw material to make our artworks, and technology and science, they were our allies in this endeavor.
We had a lot of international advice, and from people that had experienced already zero gravity, but also from curators and historians. And
yeah, cosmonauts, very important.
So at last, it's just a few minutes to talk about the project. So just a little bit about the artwork we did. It was only a few seconds to make a kind of to try out time in gravity, to experience eternity in a way, to find if it's a dynamic presence, or to free a sample of the earth, of the inner part of the earth, from the burden of the weight of history, of the creating the horizon.
Also to break paradigms, to see how what we give for granted in this gravity change, even our bodies. And you can see here the difference with 2 gravities and 0 gravity is like 10 years of difference, no?
Another work of we're trying to create the molecule of water, a metaphor of creating a molecule of water with a Schumann resonance of magnetic fields.
To have an illusion of how it is to have no gravity in other mediums, like in cinema.
To experience movement without any kind of references.
To create poetry out of falling bodies, defying Newton's ideas of gravity. Or
to make a failure of history. This is a Besnier machine for flying, and obviously it failed, so give it a little bit of success after life.
And also to...
That's the success.
Yeah, that is. And also to search for an impossible embrace.
So this was the project briefly. So thank you very much.
Thank you.